Hello and welcome to the Green Profit Academy Pros Podcast. This show digs into the challenges in growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit. I'm Christine Era.
And I'm Steve Busquets. We are the green industry experts in profit, growth, and leadership. Hello, everyone. It's Steve Busquets. Today, I am doing a solo podcast. It's Saturday morning. I just really wanted to come in and do this. I had some energy today, and I had a great week, and I wanted just to share. I'm going to call this podcast Roar, Review, Rant and Revere, as in Paul Revere, and I'll get to that a little bit later. And so Roar, Review, Rant, and Revere, as in Paul Revere, as in, instead of the British are coming, the BS is coming. So I'll get to that. It's kind of poking fun at a couple of things, but I just wanted to share the Roar part is kind of like what we've been doing in my own landscape and lawn care business. And yes, I do. Some of you know I have a lawn care landscape business in Connecticut. We've been in business for 42 years. So when I'm giving any kind of input or advice or even suggestions, it's really based on, being in business for many years, making a lot of mistakes and learning the hard way. So I just want to share, we just have been completing all our preseason stuff. We're launching our season this upcoming week. So we've finished our goals, our revenue goals, our learning goals, our hiring goals, what we're going to be doing in 2025 and also even 2026, because, this season and the previous season are really the foundations for the upcoming season. So, we'll have our 5-year goals and we have our 1-year goals and they support, the 5-year goals. So what we have come up with is our sales goals, hiring goals, revenue goals, training goals. So we just finished up a big training this past week. I had my speaker coach come in from Utah, John Bates, and he worked with my front-facing team. So my team, the part of my team that works with the public, answering phones, sales, anytime my communication liaison, my managers, any people that work with public a lot, not all my lawn technicians, but my senior lawn technicians, the one that are going to do service calls, are going to deal with the clients a lot. All my landscape salespeople, my landscape team that is going to really deal with the public a lot, they were in that. It was just an amazing. We rented a space at the Norton and Spa, and John did a really great training with them, teaching them about how to tell the stories and share their story with the client, to connect to the client. And just really, it was a positive way. And it was great for my team to see some of the training that I received and how I was taught to communicate with, audiences and clients, and just the education part was really good. We're already seeing some benefits from that. It was great training. It was an absolutely amazing day to bring John in all the way from Utah. It's not a cheap thing, so my team had to really take it serious, had to be well organized and well structured, and we're already getting some benefits out of that. So what an amazing day. Also this winter, we had, I have some of my own team enrolled in the GPA Emerging Leader program, so that we're already seeing some benefits from that. They're seeing how other leaders behave, what their roles are, what their structure and organization looks like, how they speak, how they act, and what they do. So that has been a benefit already. Also, we had some mindset classes that we did at here at American Landscape Lawn Science, using the Change Your Questions, Change Your Life workshop. Mary Lee Adams wrote that book, Change Your Life, Change Your Questions. And we used that book and the workshop book that Mary Lee Adams wrote. So really that learner mindset, and the judger mindset, and using switching questions. So some of our team members went through that, and some of them had gone through it before. So we have our 1,000-day development plan, which is really fancy for, you have 3 years to learn, to go through your Clifton strengths, your find your why, your mindset, and your coaching and speaking programs, right? So the people who had not gone through the mindset went through the mindset, and then we also had our Clifton Strengths classes. So the people that had not gone through the Clifton Strength classes went through that. So we had that program going on this winter. So we did the goal setting. We did the speaking like a leader. We did the mindset classes. We did the some of the emerging leaders who are in that. We did the Clifton Strengths. So you can see that, I'm committed. My team's committed to learning this. And it really puts us at a competitive advantage. And one of the proudest moments or proudest times of my life ever in business was really 2024 when we had no turnover in the company. And it was also one of our most profitable years. And this is the work behind that. It's not about having the red mower, the orange mower, the yellow mower. It's really about investing in the team and my company. This is what I really think is behind that. And also, we had what we called the Lawn Science Turf Academy that met all winter, and they were paid. Any lawn tech who wanted to be involved in it could be part of it. Monday and Wednesdays from 9 to 11. 9 to 11, we had the Turf Academy, and it was held by one of our senior techs and one of our junior techs put the classes on. They used a lot of video from different universities that were really well done. And so they could take their the next level certification, either at the state through Connecticut test or Rhode Island testing. So we've had 2 people get new certifications through that. And we have additional people taking their exams this upcoming week. So we had a lot going on in the so-called down season. We also plow snow. So we had activity going on there. We actually had a real winter this year. This was the first year since 2009 that me and my wife did not go away at all in the winter. And we had a real winter. It was one of the coldest Februarys on record. I will say that not going away and not taking any vacation time this winter, I really got to know my team better. And one of the discoveries that I found was I have a team filled with helpers. My team is full of people that will literally trip over themselves to help other people and help each other. But the struggle is they're not strong asking for help. So one of the things that we're working on is recognizing when other people need help and also how to ask for help. So it's kind of cute to watch them be so eager to help each other, but struggle to ask for help. So we're talking about it, right? The awareness is the first step. And then having like a system and a way to recognize that and to help. So, and to really like honor people's strengths and talents and asking who's on my team and who can help me. And that's just part of the Clifton Strength program. But I really got to know my team so much better being around more. My wife recommended that I not travel so much, that my team really needs me around. And I listened this time. I have not always been the best at listening to my wife's recommendations all the time. And she's a very smart woman. So this year I listened and I have been more observant and aware of my team's talents and needs, and just seeing how powerful they are in their ability to help people, but their need to ask for help is something that we're working on in taking their strength that they already have, and how can they step into that strength and learn to use that to ask, to be aware of who's on their team and how to ask that team member for help. So it's been amazing, really. So that's kind of the roar part of my share today. So the review part is, you've heard me do it. We did a podcast on lazy sales and that click email. Well, I'm in a number of chambers, and you'll hear me, really encourage people to join local chambers, because especially for lawn care, landscape, and all local contractors, we're in local communities, and that's why a lot of the kind of like the internet it's not really the greatest place for local contractors, landscapers, lawn care companies, cabinet people, insulation. We need to be out in our local communities. We need to be in front of people. We're in our faces in front of people. People need to see us, and because they're not clicking. And I've done a lot of keyword search, short, long phrases, everything. There's just not enough search keywords, there's not enough volume. People are not waking up and or walking around just looking for what the keywords are. So we have to be in front of people. So that's why I love the chamber. You're not going to go to one event and get all kinds of business. You need to show up, become a part of their community, become part of where they show up. There's usually between 300 to 600 members in these chambers. If you keep showing up, they show up for you. So I was talking to the chamber director. We were at an event, and she was sharing with me that they had a 67% decline in chamber membership, and the chamber board was freaking out. And they're like, what is going on? What is going on? We don't understand. How do we lose 67% of our chamber membership? We've emailed the invoice twice. And we've always emailed the invoice, and people have paid. So what is going on? So they said, well, why don't we mail the invoice? So they mailed the invoice, and they got, big response, over 30%. And then they called. So they emailed, mailed, and called, and then they got back up to 97% renewal. So she was sharing this experience with me, and I was like, there's that double touch sales that I had shared on the podcast. And, I was saying in the podcast, don't lazy sell with the email. And someone was there like, oh, well, I would never do that. I just email. So, and then he was also sharing how his business had been struggling with sales for the past 2 years. And all he was doing was emailing. So, and then he just stood there kind of mouth half open and totally stunned, like as the chamber president was sharing, like, yes, we were doing that. And our membership was declining by 67%. So we can be really smart and tell people, yeah, just email, right? We can do that. But if we want our business to grow and thrive, we have to, there's a new world order, right? And if you're just emailing, you can expect declining results. So when she was sharing that story, and then the board was like, yes, finally, we're back up to where we should be. And the businesses were like, oh, thank you so much for mailing us an invoice. Thank you for calling. So you've heard me, if you're a regular listening, I have a 1/3 rule kind of theory, right? 1/3 of the people get it right away. 1/3 of the people almost will never get it. And then there's 1/3 of the people that will get it as long as you guide them through it. You remind them, you have to kind of coddle them, right? So if you are having any kind of struggles, or you're just kind of challenged either in sales, communicating with your customers, anyway, just remember that's double touch or triple touch. It's going to be the future of any kind of communication, whether it's going to be sales, whether it's going to be renewals, whether it's going to be social media advertising. It's definitely going to be more active than just clicking off one email. So that was a great story. When she shared that, I was like, this is it right here. This is the future. It's not going to be, I left a voice message, 3 weeks ago. No one got back to me. It's going to be text, call, email, mail. That's just the world we live in. We're so much, attacked. I have 2 different businesses emails. I have a personal email. Then I have 2 nonprofit emails, and then I have a junk email that I send junk to. So I have different emails. And then, there's so much stuff coming at me all the time. It's hard to keep up with everything. Plus texting, and for people hit me up on WhatsApp, Facebook messaging. So there's a lot of messaging coming at us nowadays. So just relying on that click off email like you could 2 years ago, that's not going to work the way it used to. So
Core Growth Strategies provides business growth management solutions through cloud accounting, bookkeeping, and strategic business consulting programs. Our team works with small businesses in lawn care and landscape and trade industries throughout the U.S. We increase our clients' business acumen by creating business performance transparency through financials and strategic advisement based on industry best practices and benchmarks. Our experienced team provides support, guidance, and coaching, thereby allowing our clients to connect with viable data and discover their own solutions. Core Growth Strategies programs and services are designed to get your business from where it is now to where you have always dreamed it to be. Visit us today at coregrowthstrategies.com and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, or LinkedIn. Don't miss our exclusive limited time podcast special. Just mention promo code GPA Pro to any member of our team during your complimentary consultation, or enter the promo code on our site when you sign up for one of our online programs. That's promo code GPA Pro.
Here at my company, we will do our renewals early. We have prepay, and last year we set a record. So we mail, we email, and we call. And this year we were on the phones very hard in February, and we set a record all-time prepay month. But we hit the phones really, really hard. That was after emailing, after mailing. So if you want to really, set records and win, that's what it takes. Last year we had the best year we ever had, and it was a lot of work. We had some visitors come in, they saw a process and they said, I would never do that. That's a lot of work. And I said, well, winning is a lot of work. And so that quote went up on the board, and it was funny. I wasn't trying to be cute or, tongue in cheek, but winning is a lot of work. If you want to be really good, or you want to have a lot of success, it's a lot of work. And it's probably not just going to be hitting a little button and clicking off email. So that's what it took for us to break our record this year. It was doing a lot of work. And that meant, like I said, emailing, mailing, calling. And my team was very excited about it. And, we broke it by over 20%. So, that's my review. It seems to work. Results are undeniable. People vote with their wallets. And so this is not just, I wanted to share this because this is not just a theory. This is not some idea that I had. This is actual results. I have deposits in the bank. And that's one of the other things, we always talk about my management team. What can we deposit in the bank? What is a thing that we can put into the bank that shows up on a statement in our balance sheet? That is what's real. So a lot of people will give you ideas, concepts, theories. Can you deposit in the bank, right? If the answer is no, then we're only going to put so much effort and we're only going to validate it so much. It's a concept, right? We want to make sure that we can put it on a balance sheet and then it's real. So that's my review. All right. So now a little bit of my rant and revere. So I watch a lot of YouTube. I listen to other podcasts, and I guess my revere is, Paul Revere was like, the British is coming, the British are coming, to warn you. And so here's my warning. Be very careful in the green industry who you're listening to. I watched a podcast or a YouTube the other day, and they mean well. Mike Andes owns Augusta Lawn Care, and he really means well. He's trying to build an amazing lawn care franchise. And his YouTube video was about he has discovered, why lawn care businesses don't do well. It's the fourth quarter because of, the down season, the winter. And the way the video was like advertised and everything. And he has studied, he's met with master coaches and PhD coaches and Alex, the other marketing coach, and he's figured this out, that it's the fourth quarter. That's why businesses don't do well. And it's because their revenue drops. So if you're new to the industry, this might be new to you, and it's the same stuff we were working on 40 years ago. And what he revealed was that, the fourth quarter, there's no revenue. So some of the things people might want to think about is, he's revealing this is new. And this is kind of what I'm like, it's a little bit of my rant, right? Because this is not new. This has been going on way before even I got into the lawn care and landscape industry. This is not new. He did not just figure this out, but he was in the video. And I guess this is what you have to do in videos to make it look new, that he just figured this out. But he's like, I just figured this out through all this amazing research and data crunching. And I really went to these high level coaches. I spent all this money to figure this out. In the winter, it gets cold. Okay, we figured that out. Gets dark at night. We got that. We're dialed in now, cold and dark in the winter. So revenue drops. So we're there. So you can either lay people off in the winter because it's cold and dark. And then so you're not paying everybody all winter, going broke. So good advice. That was really good advice. And we do that with our field people. Many people across America have done that for decades. So super good advice. And then the other thing was to put a blade on the front of your truck and push snow. Really good advice. Not a new thing, but it could be done. But you really have to know what you're doing if you're going to do that, and you have to be in the right market. And then the other thing that was to have Christmas lights or some revenue. The challenge of Christmas lights is, and if you do Christmas lights, you'll know what I mean. It's not always a winter time revenue because you're doing Christmas lights in the fall. People want their lights up by Thanksgiving. So you're trying to finish your mowing, your cleanups, your plantings, your pavers, you're doing all kinds of other things and do your Christmas lights, right? And then in the middle of December, when a light goes out, you're running over to Mrs. Jones's or the restaurant or whatever to do these lights. And then in January, February, when it's cold, windy, icy, you're taking down lights. So, again, not a new thing. So it was very cute. And I like Mike Andes. I really, really do. I think he's an amazing individual. He's trying so hard. I don't think I've ever seen anybody work harder than this guy and care so much. So kudos to him for that. I'm just saying, be careful of who you're listening and what you're watching, and just trust, but verify. And the last piece of advice was actually, really good advice, was sell more work that you can sell in the winter. Maybe you can sell pruning. Maybe you can sell winter types of cleanups. Maybe there's something you could sell. So that was really good advice. But my rant is that, this is not new stuff. This was the same exact issues we've been trying to solve in this industry for forever, even before I was in it. I was at the Rhode Island Nursery and Landscape conference a couple of weeks ago, and there was businesses in there that have been in business for 100 years, 79 years. They, find people that have been around for a long time. If you're just discovering it gets cold in the winter and dark at night, and they're sharing that stuff with you, be careful. And that people can get laid off in the winter. Be careful if they're just sharing that they needed coaches and really sophisticated marketing people to help them discover that. Just, make sure that you're really paying attention to who and where you're getting your information from. Because that can be really dangerous. Find somebody that's been around for a while and that's seen a few seasons and that understands the business modeling and that has seen a few hard times and understands what is going on. Because if this is your life, right, you're supporting your family on this. And, if people are trying to figure out what their business model has to look like and what they need to be doing, and you're taking advice from them, you want to already be taking advice from somebody that's been around the block a couple times. They're not trying to figure out how to get around the block. You want to figure out from somebody that's been around the block a couple of times. One of my mentors, he had been around the block a few times and he had helped people get around the block. So it was very easy because I didn't have to, figure it out. I was trying to figure it out and it was really painful. And he had already figured it out. So that would be my rant in Revere, Paul Revere, like just the BS is coming. So be careful out there. And I do want to share a story that kind of came out of one of our trainings this week. And it was pretty powerful. We were doing a goal setting 5 years ago, and one of my team members there were setting our goals. He was very upset with me about the goal setting. And I was very upset with him for being very upset with me about the goal setting. And I wasn't curious enough. I really took it personal. I wasn't asking enough questions, right? My learner mindset wasn't asking what's best to do now. What does he want? And it stuck with me for 5 years. I was still a little mad at this individual 5 years later. And after our speaker training the other day, he had shared with me the reason he didn't share with me why he was so upset. He shared with me that at that goal setting, why he was so intense was that was the day he had set a goal that not only was he going to be the best manager at the company and set amazing goals for work, but he was going to be the best father to his daughter. And he was going to construct and build a life that he could excel at work, but also excel as a father. So he was constructing a plan to be an amazing dad so he could spend time with her, support her, her hobbies and her education and her as a person, and also, build the company at work because we were growing. And since that time, the company has doubled, but he had to build a support team around him. So he had to, at that time, go from doing everything to learning to ask for help. And also he had to build a team underneath him. So, and now he has that team, and they're the team that set the record. So when he shared that with me the other day after the speaker training, I was really floored, and I did not see that coming. So it was just an amazing share that I felt like, okay, I should have, as a leader, asked more questions, right? So I'm learning all the time that, even I need to be more curious, because I'm a certified, mindset coach, and I had carried that around for 5 years. Why was he so, he was just, no matter what I said that day, he had something else to say and against whatever I was saying. So it was just that he was feeling so overwhelmed because the work he was doing that day was so important to him, his life, and his family, that he was overwhelmed by it. So I was really taken back. But interestingly, he felt supported that day because we were there for him and we kept moving him toward the goals that he wanted to get to. And then we also supported him over the past 5 years to get to those goals. And we never backed down from that support. So it was a very interesting story. I just wanted to share that with you. Sometimes if people are doing something, and we don't understand it, it makes us feel a little confused or a little upset. Stay curious. They need us more in those times to be kind and curious than to be upset with them. So that was my takeaway from what happened the other day during that share. So that is my Saturday Roar review at Rant and Revere. I hope this was helpful to you. It's just something I wanted to share with the energy that I had this week. And I know spring is upon all of us right now. So I wish you guys all the best. And I look forward to you joining us on the next podcast. Thanks for listening to the Green Profit Academy Pros Podcast,
the show that digs into the challenges of growing a lawn care and landscape business while maximizing your profit.